Does having kids count as a disability? As a parent, I say yes. It highlights disability to fuck. Get it? Because I had sex with my wife to make them. Can we restart this and without me saying what I just said? It sounded a lot funnier in my head, but then it came out of my mouth and I was like, oh no. Does having kids count as a disability? Right, and that question is at the center of this discourse in the gaming community that started because of comments made by writer, host, and content creator Alana Pierce when she was talking about Elden Ring. See, because she made a video talking about people who say that the game is just too hard. And while she hit on a number of things in the video, her comments about accessibility in particular, it got the most attention. Or because there are players with a variety of different disabilities who might find themselves facing extra setbacks if they were to play Elden Ring, with her explaining.
There are long-term disabilities, there are situational disabilities, there are temporary disabilities. It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have, where the game not having the option for you to be able to pause, for example, is a hindrance for your particular disability, a situational disability. You may need to pause to stop your kid from putting a fork into a socket. A power outlet.
Alana going on to explain more about the accessibility as it relates to gaming, but just that clip by itself, it took off. And she very quickly got a ton of backlash from people who said things like, I've never seen my kids as a disability. Holy shit. And Elden Ring needs to be easier because I have kids. Do you think she's the type of chick to park in a handicap zone because she thinks having kids is a disability? As well as, sorry, Alana, I have 2 kids. They're not a disability, situational or otherwise. The use of this word in this context is insane and potentially offensive to people with actual disabilities. Or with people arguing that it's just a video game. If you choose to play a game while you're watching your kid, shit might go wrong, but it's not consequential. But this also as others defended her and what she was saying Alana has been a champion of accessibility for years. It's literally her job to understand the limitations some gamers face. As well as Alana doesn't have kids. She's citing examples of how lacking a pause button can make a game inaccessible for others. And this is other big creators in the space like Asmongold noting that the wording there, that might be why people are mad, but it doesn't make what she's saying any less correct.
I think the reason why people are mad about this is because she used the word disability. And people are thinking one-dimensionally about the word disability, like being in a wheelchair. But if you think about disability as something that interferes with your ability to play the game, then it makes sense.
And very importantly, you have tons of people noting that she didn't make this phrase up, right? Situational disability, that is a pre-existing industry term. And that term can actually include someone who has a kid. Like if you go to Microsoft's guidebook on inclusive design regarding this, it says, as people move through different environments, their abilities can also change dramatically. In a loud crowd, they can't hear well. In a car, they're visually impaired. New parents spend much of their day doing tasks one-handed. What's possible, safe, and appropriate is constantly changing. There's actually a graphic showing examples of different disabilities, including a new parent as a situational impairment. That guidebook just hammering home that health conditions aren't the only disabilities. It considers a disability to be any mismatched human condition, with the belief being that as gaming designers, they have a responsibility to see how their designs impact people in all sorts of different walks of life and in different situations, and to create solutions when problems arise. Which is also why you get a lot of people sharing this information and writing things like, it only takes a few seconds to Google the term Alana is using. It is a thing. You cannot like it, but that alone won't change anything, which is good because situational disabilities can lead to tools that can help everyone. We also saw Alana herself responding to some of the criticism she's been facing, saying the term doesn't aim to conflate or compare these things, nor does it suggest situational disability is just as demanding as a physical or mental disability. It's just a different kind of accessibility need. But also adding that if people really take a strong issue with the word disability being used, they can push for a new word to be used. But right now, that is the actual technical term, which again, she did not invent herself. She was simply sharing what it means and it might look like. But also, here's one of the shitty things. The main tweet that went after Alana Pierce, where they wrote, quote, Elden Ring needs to be easier because I have kids, which is not a thing that she said. X says that has 24.1 million views and counting. The actual video where it's from, where you get the full context and the nuances of everything she's talking about, it's just past 100,000 views. Well, that tweet did eventually get community noted, noting 1, this is a wrong quote, and 2, noting that situational disability is an actual term used in development. The initial narrative and framing, it just kind of ran away like a runaway train. But with all that now said and explained and the full context of the situation given, I'd love to know your thoughts on this whole situation, whether it be about the debate around accessibility in general, the backlash, the words used themselves, really anything at all. I'd love to hear from you.